All right. Welcome, everyone. Feel free to adjust in whatever way feels good, whether you're sitting in a chair or lying down or sitting on the floor. And we'll just tip the hips backwards and forwards. And these can be really small movements. Just feeling into the coccyx, the lowest part of the back, tipping forward and kind of arching that low back a little bit, just really feeling where the pelvis is, and then finding some neutrality where it feels like you're not too far forward with a sway back and you're not too far back with a hunchback, but you feel really secure with your spine over the hips. And then I'll invite you to slide the chin back a tiny bit. Many of us, myself included, have this. We lead with the chin and we end up putting strain on the neck. So tucking the chin a little bit so that that heavy weight of your head can be nice and balanced over the spine. Let the bones do the work rather than the muscles. I'll invite you to join me in a twist, looking over one shoulder, maybe putting the opposite hand on the outside of the opposite thigh, and sitting up nice and tall, making sure you're still breathing here, and exhaling to twist a little bit farther, thinking about bringing the back shoulder further behind, the front shoulder further up. Tall spine, twist, 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 and then very slowly, easy, deliberately coming back through center, maybe shrugging the shoulders and doing a few shoulder rolls here if that feels good in one direction and the other direction. And then we'll take that same twist on the other sides, starting by gently looking over the shoulder. Maybe you take the opposite hand to the outside of the thigh, dropping the back shoulder back, bringing the front shoulder forward, sitting up nice and tall, and looking over the shoulder, making sure to breathe here. Keep it easy, keep it light. Taking one more breath in. Twist, twist, twist. And then coming back to center, nice and slowly, easily. There's no rush here. You might like to put some movement into the wrists, slow figure eights, and then the wonky direction, the opposite direction that sometimes feels a lot harder. And then if you'd like to do a little more wrist stretching, you can put the hands together, flip the fingertips away from you until you feel the stretch in your wrist. And so for some people, this might be enough. For others, you can go further down. If you're still like, I don't feel anything, I don't know what to do, bring the wrists closer to the body. And eventually you probably feel some gentle stretching, right? Stretching is great. The feeling of stretching is good. No pain, though. We don't want to have any pain. And then we'll slowly come back to center. You can bring the hands to the lap or to the chair or the ground next to you. And then if there's any other movements or adjustments, or if you want to put on an extra layer, whatever you would like to do to make yourself more comfortable, feel free to do it now. Take your time here. There's no rush. And then once you feel like you're in a really comfortable position, somewhere where you can probably stay for a little while, I'll invite you to close your eyes if that feels good. Or you can simply lower the gaze. You can find a single point of focus. We're trying to minimize the distractions of the outside world so we can get really curious about what's happening internally, how the mind influences the body, and how the body influences the mind. And a really nice way to look at that connection is through the breath. So find your breath. Start asking yourself some questions. Where is the breath coming in and out? What is the duration or the length of my inhales and exhales? Are they the same length or is one longer and the other shorter? Is there a gap where the inhale turns to the exhale? Or is that a smooth transition where it goes directly from one to the other? Looking at that transition, inhale, exhale. And then on the next breath, looking at that transition from the inhale to the exhale. And you don't have to change anything, we're just curious. And we can pay attention to the change at the bottom as well, paying specific mind to that exhale turning into an inhale. And on the next breath, where does the exhale shift into an inhale? Is there a gap or is it smooth? One is not necessarily better than the other. We're just wondering, we're just identifying, we're just observing what's happening in the body. If you have an intention that you're working with or something that you would like to bring more of into your life, I'll invite you to state that either out loud or to yourself. Send it out to the universe. It might be as simple as I follow my breath. And then do a little scan of the body and see if there's anywhere where you're holding on to some tightness that you might be able to soften or release. So common areas are dropping the shoulders, letting the hands feel heavy, the arms feel heavy. Sometimes we hold the belly in or feel a lot of tension in the pelvic floor. So maybe you can breathe and relax into the seat, what's beneath you, trusting that the earth will hold you. You don't have to do any work. And then if your teeth are touching, put a little gap between the upper jaw and the lower jaw. And if there's anywhere else or any other movement that you could do slowly, mindfully to make yourself more comfortable, now is the time to do that. Sometimes we think we have to be rigid and very still in order to be meditating properly. But if you are uncomfortable, my sincere thought is you should mindfully move. That discomfort is your body telling you that something could be adjusted, something could be better. And while we cannot always adjust to be more comfortable, when we can, we should take it upon ourselves to do that. We deserve as much comfort as we can muster. Join me in a 3-part breath. This is a nice, slow, easy breath. You can put the hands on the belly if that feels good, but we'll breathe into the belly and then into the ribs and finally into the chest so that the lungs are completely full of air, and then exhale slowly, deliberately, either through the nose or through the mouth. So it goes in, 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 long exhale. In, 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 And a long, slow exhale. And your breathing pattern may be faster than mine. It might be slower than mine. Follow what feels good in your body. Filling the lungs, engaging the diaphragm, and focusing on the breath, which helps quiet the mind. If there are other thoughts or worries or things coming in, that's normal, but you can simply say, that's thinking. Right now, I'm focusing on the breath. Or, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm going to think about it later. And then come back at belly, ribs, chest, and this long, slow exhale. And I'll call you back in a couple minutes. Take your time. There's no rush. We'll do one more round of breath like that. Into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest. And an even longer, slower, more luxurious exhale, breathing out all of the air. Maybe squeezing the belly button towards the spine, getting everything out. And then when you feel that air hunger, slowly, deliberately, gently, letting the breath return to normal. In and out through the nose where you can. And then take stock once again. Where do your hips touch the ground? Are you even left and right? Or could you make a micro adjustment? What are your feet touching? Are the knees together or apart? Where are your hands? If they've become constricted into fists, can you let them open up? Can you let them be heavy and be gently open, resting either on the lap or on the ground next to you? We'll go through a more detailed body scan, simply resting your attention on each part of the body as it's mentioned. Sometimes it's easy to feel into that body part, and other times it feels really hard. That's okay. You can simply imagine where that body part is in space. We'll start with the right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and the little finger. The palm of the hand, back of the hand, the right wrist and forearm, the right elbow and upper arm, the right shoulder, and then the whole right arm together from the fingertips to where it attaches to your torso. Can you make it feel heavy? Can you make it super relaxed? Bring your attention to the left hand thumb and the index finger, the ring finger, the middle finger, and the little finger. The palm of the hand and the back of the hand, the left wrist and the left forearm, the left elbow, the upper arm, and the shoulder. And then connect all of those together from the fingertips up to where the left arm connects to the torso. Can you feel the whole left arm? Can it be totally relaxed? Can it feel heavy? Can you bring both arms into your consciousness at the same time, feeling into both thumbs, the fingers on both hands, both palms, the backs of both hands, both wrists, both lower arms, both elbows, both upper arms, both shoulders, and then bringing the attention to the heart center. Maybe repeating your intention or your mantra. I follow my breath, or whatever else came to mind. And then move from the heart space to the diaphragm, that space just underneath the ribs, allowing the belly to rise and fall. And then bring the attention to the right hip. The right thigh. The right knee. The right shin. The right ankle. The top of the foot. The big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. And the little toe. The arch of the foot. And the heel. The calf. Behind the knee. And the hamstrings all the way back up to the hip. Feeling the whole right leg together from the hip to the toes. Let it be relaxed. Let it be heavy. And then bringing the attention to the left hip, the left thigh, the knee, and the shin, the top of the foot, the big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the little toe. And then the arch of the foot and the heel. Bringing the attention to the calf and the hamstrings up to the left hip. Feeling the whole left leg together, from the hip to the toes. And then feeling both legs together, both hips, both thighs, both knees, both shins, both ankles, the tops of both feet, both big toes, second toes, third toes, fourth toes, and both baby toes. The arch of both feet and the heels, both calves, the back of both knees, the back of both thighs. Let everything be heavy. And finally, we'll come to the crown of the head and the third eye, letting both eyeballs rest in their sockets, the nose, the mouth, the right ear and the left ear, the chin and the neck. And then I'll invite you to take a big breath in and a sigh out. And then when you're ready, there's no rush, take as long as you like. If your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes. Thanks for practicing with me today.